Khadan. Khadan is actually a friend that you are attracted to, boyfriend, girlfriend. That's khadan. A friend that you have the possibility of being attracted to. The thought might have crossed your mind. Now you cannot prove for somebody that the thought has crossed their mind. But you know, we're just friends on Facebook. We just talk sometimes. He's just doing da'wah to me. I've heard all of it. I'm from the US. And it's not like it ain't happening here. I'm not blind. Okay? I'm really happy to be in a Muslim country, but I'm not blind. This stuff is going on. And you know what? Allah Azza wa Jal talks about this in the Quran directly. It's pretty cool that He does. Like you would think Quran only talks about really sacred things. And it doesn't talk about, like boyfriends and girlfriends, but it does. It does. When the ayat of marriage come up, Allah Azza wa Jalla says, مُحْصَنَاتٍ غَيْرَ مُصَافِحَاتٍ وَلَا مُتَّخِذَاتِ أَخْدَانٍ. That when the women that should be qualified to get married, the kind of women men should try to marry are women that are muhsanat. You're bringing them into the protection of your family. You want to start a family with them. That's the first thing you look for in a girl when you want to get married. Is this the girl I want to have a family with? Would she be a good mother? Is she good to her own mother? Is she a good child herself? Does she have family qualities herself that she would be a good family? If you are rebelling against your parents and he's rebelling against his parents and you want to get married and all of that, well, you know what? It sounds like an Indian movie for a while, but eventually you know what's going to happen? You are going to have the most miserable life because you don't have the fundamental values of what it means to be in a family. What it means to be in a family. What it means to have loyalty to people that have raised you, that have taken care of you. You have this fluffy, stupid idea of what love means. First of all, stop watching Indian movies, for God's sake. Stop. Please. How many times can you watch people running around a tree? Enough. And it's gotten filthier and filthier and filthier. My God. I went to a restaurant not too long ago with my children in Seattle. Halal restaurant. We looked it up and it was a halal restaurant. So we went. And they're just, halal restaurant, for their entertainment, they got like Bollywood on. I literally had to turn my children around and myself turn around and, because it's so filthy. It's so disgusting. Like, how can that play in your homes? How can you have mothers and daughters and sisters and wives in your homes and have that in your home? That's disgusting. Stop it. It's not acceptable by any stretch of the imagination. You're destroying your families by doing this. What you allow to, these are friends you've made, these digital friends you've made that you're watching all the time. SubhanAllah, the harm they have. So, coming back to akhdan though, what does it mean? وَلَا مُتَّخِذَاتِ أَخْدَانٍ. First of all, look for a wife that is going to start a family with you, that will be in the protection of the fort of your home. And then, غَيْرَ مُصَافِحَاتٍ, that you're not just there to get your lust out of the way. You don't just think she's cute and that's it. I want to marry her, she's so beautiful. I can't stop thinking about her. You don't know how many of those emails I get. Oh my God, I have so much fun reading them too. Brother, there's this sister, I was giving her da'wah, I wanted to marry her. No, you weren't giving her da'wah to Islam, first of all. That's a different kind of da'wah you were doing, my friend. And let's be real. And then you want to marry her. Have you talked to your parents? No. They would kill me. Have you talked to her parents? No, astaghfirullah. I was like, then go to the store and buy yourself a baby bottle and suck on it. You're a baby, you can't talk to your parents, can't talk to her parents, then you're not a man. When you become a man, call me back. Until then, sit in a corner and cry. Come on. These relationships that you think are so awesome. And you know why and I'll fill you in a little. I'll fill you in, especially the teenagers in the audience. And the young people in the audience who kind of just recently shot an email and somebody emailed them back and a little Facebook thing happened and a little wink and a little hee there in the playground, even though it's a separate school. But in recess you saw each other like hee and hee. Like a little bit of that happened. Let me just fill you in a little. All of this is a product of low self-esteem. You think you're ugly. So if a guy thinks you're cute, you're like, really? I'm beautiful? You know, you have low self-esteem. You think nobody's going to like you, nobody's going to want to marry you, and all of that stuff. And on the other hand, the guy, like, you know, we don't have good friendships and good relationships, so we're looking for something. And most of the guys, I don't have to tell you what's going on in your head. You and I have ijma' on this issue. The things that go on in our head. There's no reason for me to explain all of that to you, you know. But, you know, just because you have raging hormones and you're like daydreaming about girls and things like that, it doesn't mean that you're in love. It just means that you haven't controlled your temptations yet. And you're ruining somebody's life. You're ruining an entire family. Do you realize what you're doing? And you call it love? You tell me if she was like 50 pounds fatter, you still be in love? Because she's the same person, same ruh inside her jasad, right? If she was a burn victim or something, if her hand burnt off, or her ear was missing, you still be in love? Or you find somebody else to love all of a sudden? And if you can't answer that question honestly, then come on, you're not in love, you're just hormonal. That's all you are, you know? This is what we've done to relationships that are supposed to be beautiful. Marriage is supposed to be a beautiful relationship. It's supposed to be a lifelong relationship. But because you're watching all of these models on TV and stupid, like, you know, women that are just throwing themselves at men and all this stuff, and you've developed this delusional concept of what it means to have love in your life. Delusional concept. Our deen came to free the world from this nonsense. To free it. Because we have a more mature understanding of what it means to have love in your life. You know, to have, I'm not saying you shouldn't marry someone you like, you should. You should be attracted to your future spouse. All of those things are fine. But there's a decency that you have to exhibit before that. You know? And if you're okay with talking to a girl like that, you should be okay with somebody talking to your sister. You're okay with that too? Not if you have any ounce of decency left inside you. If you do, then, you know, this is how we have to end these things. And no, if you've been in that kind of relationship, or you're in one of those relationships right now, nobody knows. Only Allah knows and you know. Don't raise your hand, please. Right? But I'm saying, you're like, oh, after today's lecture, I have decided I no longer want to be your friend. You know, don't even write that, because even then you're looking for a response. You're kidding yourself. And then you're checking, did she write back? Yes, we should no longer be friends. And then you'll write back, you're right, we really shouldn't be friends anymore. And then she'll write back, yeah, never again. And then you're still doing it. Just stop, just cut it off. Just cut it off. It's not good for you. And guys, I've done a whole series on shame, so I won't repeat the whole thing because it took hours and hours and hours, but I will tell you this. It's okay to be attracted to a girl. Allah put that in you. You're not evil for finding a girl beautiful. It's not haram for you to feel that way. You have to control it though. You have to control yourself. Our deen teaches us self-control. And if you cannot exhibit self-control in one aspect of your life, you'll lose self-control in other aspects of your life. Same thing for you. Same thing for you. Control yourself. Control your giggle. Control your overly friendly demeanor in certain situations. Don't be oblivious to, don't say we're just friends, or he's like a brother to me. If he ain't your brother, he ain't your brother. That's it. That's it. Either he's your brother, you share a mom, or he's not. And that's the end of it. تنهد يا صاحي كي